fights a year.
It's over! There's no way back from this, surely!
Everything is difficult in this life, so still you need to be on it.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
How do you like it? How do you like it?
That is unbelievable.
These guys will be legends in their own country, but also in the international basketball world forever.
That is what sport means. That is what the EuroLeague trophy means. Are you not entertained? I'm not supposed to be cheering, but this is X Series. I can do whatever I want.
This has been a coming together. This has been a light bulb moment.
Two top promoters in the UK have never even met.
I know how to fight, and I'll fight to win.
The competition is back, and the UEFA Women's Champions League looks set to be bigger and better than ever before.
It's their time. A night to remember. It all comes down to tonight. Don't miss the biggest night in MMA. PFL is more than a fight.
Fight Week on DAZN is non-stop action. Access all areas of the biggest fights, even before the bell rings.
I hope you guys enjoy this fight as much as I will.
Here we go. With Shadow's power,
We can rule humanity.
We need Team Sonic's immediate assistance.
Wait a second. I thought we were going tubing.
Tom, Maddie, we need your help on a super... Knuckles, do you mind?
Oh, excuse me.
Tom, Maddie, we need your help on a super dangerous top secret mission.
We're in. You're no match for us.
There is nothing we can't handle.
I'm gonna throw up.
Sonic 3, rated PG. Tickets on sale now.
It's showtime, and there's no better way to win on boxing than with DraftKings Sportsbook. Right now, you can get this knockout offer and take your shot at victory during the big bout. Feel the boxing action from the opening bell to the final blow with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the app, enter the promo code, and get in on this great offer before the first punch. Life's more fun when you're in on the action. The crown is yours.
The following program is recommended for those 16 and over, as it contains sporting violence, possible bad language, and flashing imagery.
So focused. It all comes down to this. Press conference live on DAZN.
Hello and welcome to Riyadh. Hello and welcome to Riyadh. We're less than 48 hours away now. Hello and a warm welcome to Riyadh. Less than 48 hours to go before the last big fight night of 2024. It is day 3 of this huge fight week here in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and it is press conference day. So we're here. I mean, press conferences often bring up surprising, entertaining things. Alongside me is former WBO super featherweight world champion Barry Jones. Press conference day, always entertaining. Never know what to expect.
Look, but it's the last time to really... They'll see each other tomorrow, of course. All the fighters will see their opponents tomorrow, but tonight is the first time they can really try and get in their head, verbally, for a period of time, rather than just stare at people and say, I'm gonna get you. It's to say a few things here. Have time to say a few things. A few personal things sometimes, a few jokey things. Sometimes things are made up, but either way, it's their last time to really try and get that little bit of psychological upper hand before they weigh in, and then of course fight night.
We have many times seen some entertaining press conferences that involve Tyson Fury. Do you think we're going to get that today?
I don't think, because it's been a different Tyson Fury this time. One, it's been a Tyson Fury that's come back from a defeat, and we haven't seen that as a professional, but he's been a little bit more subdued or serious. It's hard to tell which is which, but I don't dislike it, actually. I think part of Tyson Fury's whole demeanour, his makeup, part of his arsenal, if you will, is the psychological game before the fight. Now, most fighters, that doesn't work for or against, because, it doesn't matter what you say before the fight, what happens on the night. But he's so good at it that he gets fighters scared, or mainly angry and wound up, and he's in your head. And what that does, it doesn't affect you most of the time, but the night before a fight, when you go to bed, that's the worst time. That's the time when you can win or lose a fight, because if you've missed out on training, if things haven't gone your way, any problems come back. And also, things that are said to you, they might come back. Maybe to fuel you sometimes, or just to make you angry. But that might not be what you need. You sometimes need to be calm. So, that's what he uses so effectively throughout his career. But, as we've seen in the first fight against Oleksandr Usyk, it had no effect. If anything, it was detrimental to Tyson Fury, because you could almost see him getting wound up that he couldn't wind him up. So I think he's realised now he hasn't been really playing any game. He hasn't done too much media stuff either. He's just sort of gone, I'm here to fight, I'll do my obligations. See him at the workout yesterday, he did nothing. He put his boots on, stretched and went home.
Took them off,
I think he needs to win this fight. Whatever he says, Tyson Fury will say one thing one day, one thing the next. And for him, it was all about legacy before. It was never about money. He knew he was going to make money. It was about, he wanted to be seen as the greatest fighter in history. Not just a heavyweight, in the history of the sport. And to be a heavyweight, if you can be dominant, that goes a long way. And now he says he doesn't care about that, and it's all about making the money and getting home to his family and all that. And all these things are true in himself. But if he wants to be seen as an all-time great, as a heavyweight, this is the fight that does it. This and maybe the third one, hopefully, if we get one, if he wins, because he was the best heavyweight. He was the best heavyweight of his generation, and that was clear. But when Oleksandr Usyk came along, and there was a question mark, but still Fury was seen as #1. And when he lost, now he's not #1. Oleksandr Usyk is, because he won the fight, a very close fight, but still a fight with only one winner. That's where everyone almost universally agreed, and you couldn't argue with that. So now he hasn't even got saying he'd rather say he's the best fighter in history. He can't even say now that he's the best fighter of his generation, and that must drive him mad, because he looked like he was on course to do that. Certainly the latter, to be of his generation. So he'd have a point to prove, and I think with that we've seen a more serious and a more focused Tyson Fury, and I think that only means he's going to be better in the ring.
If he does win this on Saturday, then can the narrative change that he is still the greatest of his generation?
Well, there's an argument there, because there's two of them now, isn't there? They need that third fight, most definitely, and I think then you'll decide who is clearly #1.
Okay, well, there's a bit of delay to start the press conference. I don't think that all the fighters are here, but here is what happened when they went face to face.
Oh, my friend.
Hello, my friend, Hitman. You baldy. He's come for the job, hasn't he? He's come to kill me.
That's it. He looks like an assassin, doesn't he?
He looks like a sexy beast. It suits him. The shaved head suits him. He looks sexy.
My hands was here. I win. Thank you, God. But if Tyson think what Tyson win, no problem. For me, no problem. Listen, we have one more fight. 21st December.
Usyk got the raise, like he just said. He won the fight. Fair play to him. Don't make excuses. Man beat me on the night. Fair play. I believe I won the fight. That's my opinion. Just like if you had an opinion, he had an opinion, everybody had an opinion. But he got his hand raised, and I congratulated him. It's on TV to see. I kissed his cross. I said, thank you very much.
And Happy New Year.
And Happy New Year, for sure. Do you know what I mean? So when we go again, we go again. That's it. There's no animosity. I don't hate Usyk. You know, he's a good, God-fearing Christian family man. Why would I hate him? And he's made me millions of dollars. I love him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. You said it was an easy fight until he landed a punch from the gods.
Yeah.
Why would you describe it as a punch from the gods?
Just he could have punched me that punch a million times. It may not have had any effect, but you know, he punched me and it had an effect, and that was great. Great for him.
What do you remember about that left hand in round 9?
It was perfect. Tyson good at keeping.
Was keeping good.
Yeah, was keeping good.
But you had your little chance to knock me out, didn't you? Couldn't do it, could you? Hit me with 10 shots in a row and couldn't do it.
You too have chance, brother. You too have chance.
You couldn't even put me down after being on Bambi legs. You hit me 10 shots. 10 clean shots on the chin.
Okay,
no canvas touch.
Yeah.
You're in the rematch.
Okay.
Like Tupac said, you hit me with your best shots and couldn't do all. You know what's coming for you. I'm going to you up, bitch.
What's the plan for the next one?
Same.
Same.
I don't need to do anything more because it was close. So if I don't get a knock, I've 10-8 round in round 9, then I maybe win the fight. No? If on the cards, yeah. So maybe if I just keep a little bit more focused, same again. Pop, 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 pop. I'm not going to change anything because it wasn't a one-sided beatdown. It was a close fight. Could have went either way. I'm not complaining.
Don't be afraid. I will not leave you alone again.
It's always entertaining when those two go face to face, isn't it? When they're in the same room together, it's very entertaining. It's in a nice way. It's fun, isn't it?
It is fun. It'll be interesting to see what happens now today. You know, what happens if Fury tries to get under his skin, or whether Oleksandr Usyk's been a little bit more boisterous this time around. Whether he tries to play the Fury role, it'll be interesting to find out what happens. But it's always good fun.
It is always good when we get together. Right, let's take a look at the full fight card that is coming your way on Saturday night. It is an absolute stacked card. Some really exciting fights on there. Any that that's standing out to you? Pick out?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to Moses Atama versus Dempsey McKean. I think that's a fight that that'd be the breakout fight for Moses Atama. Obviously, Boychuk versus Ishmael Davis. A real surprise, but you know he comes a massive underdog, Davis. But you got to admire his courage. Reese Edwards a late notice fight as well. The little Welshman, well, little, he's the same size as me. But you know, obviously against the brilliant Peter McGrail. And so there's so many good fights on it, but it's a cracking bill. But it's all really based on the main fight.
About that main event, and it's great because there's a lot of heavyweight action in the undercard, which you can get excited for. Then they'll have their eyes on the main event as well. Yeah,
well, in the future, Johnny Fisher's away from that, but of course you got Dave Allen, who's a natural talent, Dave Allen. But you just wonder where he is now in his career, whether he's come for the money or genuinely trying to get himself back into the picture. But you know, so that'll be very interesting to see how Johnny Fisher performs. That's a step up for Johnny Fisher. But you know, but really, most of the time is the one we're all talking about. I know that people are going about this Mike Tyson scenario, and I understand that, but still, just let him develop. I'd say let him develop as a pro. Dempsey McKean's what's him let him develop. Dempsey McKean, you know, was boxing for a world title in his last fight against Hrgovic, and did very well until he got stopped in the last round. So, if he were to beat, you know, Dempsey McKean, then you know he's starting to look for those bigger names and work his way up the bill.
Yeah, it's a step-up fight for him, and it's also a huge opportunity for him to showcase and sort of make his statement on the heavyweight scene.
Yeah, it is, and I think timing's everywhere. I would say, but I would say, you know, still, you know, there's a lot of heavyweight action. They're all looking to get in the mix, and even if they're not ready to get for world title honours, you know, you've got to place yourself in a good position. So when you are ready, you're there to be noticed, and you're there to get the opportunity.
Definitely. Well, another heavyweight fight that is on that card is Johnny Fisher facing Dave Allen. And Johnny Fisher gave us his thoughts on his upcoming fight.
Does this start that you start on this road? I've always been in the boxing gyms, although I had a hiatus really from 14 to 19 because I was playing rugby. I've had boxing gloves on since I was 5 or 6 years old. It's where we live. Boxing is religion in a respect, being from the East End of London, and we've moved out now. But boxing's always been a part of our lives, and I'm the only one in my family that's really stuck to it and gone with it. And some things just brought me back to it when I was 19 years old. So I've always wanted to be a boxer, and being the heavyweight champion of the world, it's a dream right now, but it's one that is a dream that is not just in my head now, it's actually on the horizon, and there is a pathway there if I'm good enough, you know?
I'm not a Man City, I'm not an AC Milan, I'm not a Liverpool, but I am a cold night away in Stoke. You've got to pull your socks up and put your shin pads on to beat me.
I'm a cold night away in Stoke.
What is that?
You've got to turn out in the dugout, you've got to get that freezing cold air hit your breath, and you've got to have your half-time oranges, and you've got to put your big shin pads on, because you're going to be up for a bit of a tear-up. And that's me saying, literally, I'm not the best. I might not be touted as the best in the world or one of these guys to look out for, but everyone knows when you turn up, you're going to have to perform if you're going to beat me.
And I'll tell you what, when you had said that, on top of me not knowing why I was so pumped, the whole crowd was too. Like, you're very good at working the crowd.
I think it's just, when you speak honestly and authentically, I think you don't have to try. You just talk as you would honestly, and I think people can buy into that. And I think that's the whole thing with how we are in general with my family.
Yeah.
Don't need to build yourselves up. Just say what you think, and if it makes sense, people will like it. If it don't, they don't, and who cares?
What can people expect when the Romford Bull steps in the ring, and where do you fit in the division?
I can really punch. That's one thing I know. I can really, really punch. So whoever I land that and detonate that punch on, they're going to feel it. And I'm not one to be arrogant and big myself up and say I've got all these skills, but one thing I have got is heart, and I've got tenacity, and I've got willpower, and I always turn up fit and strong and in shape, because that's the bare minimum that should be expected of a professional athlete. And where do I fit in? I don't really know, and I don't really care. All I'm going to do is stick to what I know, and what I know is to train hard, listen to my managers, listen to my trainers, and listen to my dad as well, and my family, because they're the people that have got my best interests at heart, and I'll just keep progressing as I'm meant to, and wherever I fit is where I fit.
Talk to me about your opponent for this fight.
Well, Dave Allen, the first heavyweight professional I sparred back when I was 19, 20 years old. At that point, I was just a rugby player at Exeter University, sparring a few of the top guys at the time, like Joe Joyce, Dave Allen. So really, so I could go back to my mates at uni and be like, yeah, I mixed it with this guy, I mixed it with that guy. I had no expectations of being a professional boxer at that point, and one thing led to another, and I think that's how I've gone through my career, just not putting a ceiling on anything. Sparred him, signed pro with the guys that managed Joe Joyce, got signed to Matchroom, got another year deal on the end of that, then got another 3 years, just going with it, rolling with it. And I think I fight with that freedom, that same freedom I've started my career with, I've still got now, because there's no expectation.
That is a great domestic fight there in the heavyweight division. I mean, Dave Allen's been around a long time. They've sparred before, quite a long time ago, I think. But Dave Allen still believes he's levels above Johnny Fisher.
Yeah, not now. But I think if you're talking about natural talent, then he has a lot more natural talent. Dave Allen showed loads of promise. Then he came against Lemro Thomas, for the Commonwealth title. And he sort of underperformed, from I feel. And ever since then, he's been up and down in his career. I mean, his last really good win was 2019, I hope that's right, against Lucas Brown. And that was a really good win. It was a fantastic win. Lucas Brown was a former world champion. And then he sort of plateaued a little bit since then, and his career has been stop-start. Like all boxers, very disillusioned with the sport at times, and packed in, come back, and packed in and come back. He had a few fights since, but this is the step. Timing is everything in sport, and getting Johnny Fisher now when he's full of confidence. I know he had that shoulder injury that kept him out recently, and that'll be interesting how that's healed. I hope that's okay for his camp, but he looks a guy full of confidence. He looks a guy that's really in form, and I think that right now you have to favour the younger, fresher, and stronger Johnny Fisher. But if Dave Allen can get those smarts, that intelligence, and if he has trained diligently and he's mentally in the right place, and he can make it difficult in the early rounds for Johnny Fisher, he'll take him in a place he hasn't been before. And not just a war and a physical battle, but of a guy who's intelligent as well. And then it can be Dave Allen's fight. But all logic says that Johnny Fisher does a good job in it, unfortunately.
Yeah, because we saw what Johnny Fisher did to Alan Babbage in that fantastic performance there. And he's developing at a quick rate. He's improving drastically.
He is. First of all, Dave Allen's a better fighter than Alan Babbage. No disrespect to Babbage. Babbage, is not really a natural heavyweight for a start. That's the truth. But No, I think he's a massively improved fighter. He really is, Johnny Fisher. And the stories you hear from the gyms, he'll go and spar with everybody. But the improvements that people say he's making, leaps and bounds, I mean, beyond what they should be. And I like that. He's willing to learn his trade. And because he's a fresh canvas, because he hasn't had a long amateur career, he's willing to learn. Everything's new to him, so everything's fresh. And that gives you the hunger and the enjoyment, which a lot of boxers sort of lose. You lose it, then you get it back, then you lose it again, because it's a hard sport to be involved in. But he's still relatively new in the sport, so everything's brand new and fun and enjoyable, and that's why really I think he's developed so quickly.
And do you think he's bringing the full Romford Bull army over? Are we going to see some of the supporters here?
I've heard there's 50,000 coming out. No, I've heard all sorts. I've heard there's like 500 or 300 maybe, and that'll sound like 50,000
yeah,
with them lot. And you know, that's fantastic to bring that many over here just before Christmas. Let's not forget that. And that's tremendous. I mean, he sold out the Copper Box by himself, really. That Copper Box will be his home. But to get him to travel, show him around is very important. The crowd are very important for him. But still, just focus on Dave Allen. That's all he needs to do.
Well, we are here to see the main event and obviously the full fight card that is taking place. And the DAZN cameras have been out and about seeing the whole fight week.
Tyson, more than anybody, knows what he has to do. He doesn't need me to tell him or anybody. He's got a great boxing brain. He's a student of boxing.
It's the intrigue of what Tyson Fury can do differently in this fight.
To adapt very quickly is the characteristics that shares all great champions.
His adjustments are going to have to be intelligence and game plan, and sticking to it. He needs to have the discipline to see it through the entire 12 rounds.
Usyk won the last fight by a point, so it's not like he's got to make drastic changes. Stay a bit more focused, you know, not so much laughing and joking around, hands behind his back and stuff like that.
But he'll be sharper, he'll have more conditioning, his concentration will be better. And those three things alone will mean a lot.
The issue is that Usyk can also be better, because he would have learned from the first fight. I think both guys will do different things in this second fight.
For Usyk, I feel he needs to maintain that desire, that effort throughout the fight.
If Fury comes out aggressively, no problem. That's Usyk's cup of tea. He can box, he can counterpunch, he can move, he can create angles. If Fury fights defensively, Usyk can do what he did again, which is back him up and be physical. Usyk will have a game plan, but his ability to adapt makes him very difficult to beat.
My first fight, it was in the past. Now it's present. My focus is 21st December.
I'm just going to go in there and do what I did last time, but not get caught in round 9. A bit more focus and a bit more less complacency. And I should win the fight quite comfortably.
Well, we saw quite a few opinions in that VT there. Everyone has a different opinion on how this is going to go, don't they?
Yeah, they do. But you listen to the fighters, Fury saying, I don't have to change much, and I sort of agree with that. Your style's your style, and there's adaptations to it. But ultimately, you know, you do what you do best, and hope that what you do best is better than what your opponent does. Their best is. So your best has to be their best, ultimately, with add-ons and take away and little bits of adjustments, and that's all it really is. But I think he has to stay a bit more focused. You got to try and push Oleksandr Usyk back. But if you just try and push him back continuously, then he'll use your aggression against you, spin around and pep you with so many shots, you don't know where you are. So you have to be in and out with that aggression, pushing back, but in and out with the feet. You have to be very mobile. It takes a lot of energy for that. But if you let him suffocate your space like he did in the last fight, and he makes you punch when you don't want to, and he dictates the pace, then it's a harder night for you. That's a harder night. And for Usyk, all he has to do a little bit more, I feel, is when he moves back, is just get closer to the target when he takes a little pivot rather than go back in straight lines. There's me telling Usyk on the box. But you know, I think that he won't be on the end of the long reach of Fury then when Fury tries to counter, and that'll help him get in then, because he slides in really well, better than anyone, Oleksandr Usyk. Once you throw a straight punch, that there is his invitation. That's his opportunity to get inside or over or on the blind side of you and throw either the left hand through the middle or the right hook over the top, and he's very good at that. So that's why people don't throw the jab against very often, because he uses that. He comes back with your punch, follows you back, and then beats you up. So Fury was well aware of that. So that jab of Fury's got to be fast, fast, and then hard. Fast, fast, and hard. You've got to keep mixing it up. And then the long shots are the ones that are going to push him back. And then just steal the space a bit with the mindset of having to maybe take a little lean back and then come back with a combination again. I mean, the brain power they're both going to have to use is exhausting. And that's what tires you on. When you're a massive like Tyson Fury, who does things so naturally and organically, to be concentrating and thinking all the time is going to be very, very difficult for him. But I do think he's still our most, even though Usyk's the #1 now and very adaptable himself, I still think Fury is the most adaptable heavyweight. We've seen it in the Wilder 1 and 2, in other fights, and all this joking round is part of his makeup. Without that, you don't get the magic with it. I think when he does that, he's free and relaxed, and he comes up with some brilliant stuff, but also is vulnerable and gives you opportunities to crack him on the chin. It's fascinating. It's a great. I can't wait for it. Can't wait.
It is. People have said it quite a lot this week. It's a puzzle, isn't it? It's, you know, that's why there is so much debate about how this one's going to go. Is it going to be repeat or revenge? It is a puzzle because they're both their boxing IQ is so high.
It is, and you know, and we delve into it because that's our job, and we overcomplicate it because that's also our job to make us look clever. So I think, you know, really, you just get in there, you try and be assertive, you try and dictate the pace, and hopefully you catch him with a big shot and you get him on the floor and you win the fight. It's pretty simple, but difficult to do.
Yeah, it's easier said than done, definitely. Right, well, I think it's about time we get this presser underway, so I'll hand you over to Hall of Famer MC Michael Buffer.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the final press conference for the rematch the world has been waiting for. And it's all brought to you by Riyadh Season and the General Entertainment Authority, with Frank Warren for Queensberry Promotions, Bob Arum for Top Rank Boxing, and Eddie Hearn for Matchroom Boxing. Gold Star Promotions, Gypsy King, K2 Promotions, and Sella also. Well, ladies and gentlemen, sponsorship is provided by Saudi Tourism Authority, Saudi National Bank, STC, Dr. Suleiman Al Habib Medical Group, Saudi Airlines, New Murabba Development Company, Tawunia, Hunger Station, Lucid Motors, and Al Tanfidi. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, special thanks to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, with respect and regards to the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, His Royal Highness Mohammed bin Salman, and the chairman of the General Entertainment Authority, His Excellency Turki Al Sheikh. So, ladies and gentlemen, the greatest title in all of sports for almost 140 years since John L. Sullivan is heavyweight champion of the world. There's nothing that compares to that. From John L. Sullivan, to Jack Johnson, to the Brown Bomber Joe Louis, to Rocky Marciano, to Floyd Patterson, Ingemar Johansson, the list goes on, to Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, Lennox Lewis, the Klitschko's, Larry Holmes. They're all recognized forever in history for being called the undisputed world heavyweight champion. In about 50 hours, will it be revenge or will it be repeat? Ladies and gentlemen, 12 rounds of boxing on Saturday night here in Riyadh, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, for the heavyweight championship of the world. Let's meet the two warriors at this time. Coming first to the stage, his record stands at 34 victories, 24 big wins by knockout, only one defeat. He's looking for revenge with one draw. He is the heavyweight pride of the United Kingdom, the former lineal and two-time heavyweight champion of the world, the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury! The Gypsy King, Tyson Fury! And his opponent, ladies and gentlemen, his record stands at 22 fights, 22 victories, 14 wins by knockout. He's an Olympic gold medal champion and the heavyweight pride of Ukraine. He's the former undisputed and undefeated cruiserweight world champion, and now the reigning, defending, undefeated, universally recognized heavyweight champion of the world, Oleksandr Usyk. Oleksandr Usyk! Champion and challenger in place, ladies and gentlemen. Let's turn it over to our master of ceremonies for this final press conference, Mr. DAZN.
Well, thank you, Michael Buffer. Wow, I'll get those big fight feels when Michael Buffer is in town. Let's get a round of applause, please, for Michael Buffer. Well, ladies and gentlemen, these two gentlemen met in a ring of fire back in May. And on Saturday night, that ring of fire is reignited. I want to start off by hearing from Tyson Fury, the challenger this time. And Tyson, we've spoken a few times this week. I've watched some of your interviews, and you've said it's not about redemption, it's not about revenge, it's not even about regaining those titles. So I just want to know, what is it all about for Tyson Fury on Saturday night?
I'm going to dish out a whole lot of pain. I'm going to put this fucker in the hurt locker, for sure.
Tyson, there seems to be an edge about you this week. What's happened? There seems to be an extra menace about you.
I got nothing to say, apart from there's going to be a whole lot of hurt and pain in this fight. You watch. That's all I got to say. Talking's been done. You know, the first fight, I talked, I joked, all my career. This time I'm serious. I'm going to do some fucking damage here on Saturday night. Watch me go to work on this fucker.
Thank you, Tyson. Let's get an opening word from the defending champion, Oleksandr Usyk. And we've heard what it's all about for Tyson Fury. It's about causing pain, causing hurt. What is it all about for Oleksandr Usyk on Saturday night?
Доброго вечора всім, дорогі друзі.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends.
Зараз це тільки розмови, все буде 21 грудня в рингу. Зараз шоу, камери, 21 грудня буде все серйозно.
Now we have just a performance, talks, cameras, light, kind of show. Everything gonna be taking place on Saturday night, on the 21st.
Thank you, Oleksandr. I'll be looking to come back to you shortly as well. Let's bring in Hall of Fame boxing promoter Frank Warren. And Frank, what a time this is right now. The relationship between Riyadh season and boxing. Give us your thoughts on that. And also, you're very much backing your man sat next to you to get revenge.
Good evening, everybody. And thank you, Riyadh. Thank you, Riyadh season. His Excellency, all the teams that have worked to make this such a successful promotion and the previous ones. Riyadh season, you know, it is some event now. These fights get better and better. in the course of, what is it now, 14 months, we're now in the boxing centre of the world now. This is where all the big fights happen. And the biggest fight is happening on Saturday night, the rematch. The first fight was magnificent. It was a great fight, had everything. Very close fight. There was a cigarette paper in the decision. This time round, I know these guys have been in the ring. They shared the ring together for 12 rounds. They know each other's strengths and weaknesses. And it's going to be about who can exploit the weaknesses, who's got the strength to exploit the weaknesses. And I believe Tyson Fury will come through this, and I don't think this fight will go the distance. He's in a great shape, great frame of mind for this fight, fighting mode. We're going to get an extra special event. Do not blink after the first bell.
Thank you very much, Frank. Well, as you can see, we've got a brilliant card as well. We've got fighters at various stages of their career. There is a young man sat on the end there, Mohammed Alakal, who is representing Riyadh, a real point to grassroots boxing coming through in this country. And this is fight number 2 for you, Mohammed. You did your country proud last time out on your debut on the Besibiev Bivol show. How much are you looking forward to doing it all again?
Thank you. Yeah, I've learned a lot in my debut, and I can't wait to showcase my skills this Saturday. I would like to thank His Excellency for giving me this opportunity and Gold Star.
And you got a tremendous ovation last time. You expecting the same as well in there?
Hopefully, inshallah.
Best of luck to you, Mohammed. Let's move to a fantastic heavyweight fight. Two of the most popular British heavyweights in most recent years, Johnny Fisher and Dave Allen, 10 rounds for the vacant WBA International Heavyweight Championship. And I'm going to start with Dave Allen here. I can see a lovely haircut. I can see a bit of a jawline. You look ready to go. Talk to us.
Hello, everyone. Just want to start by saying a big thank you to His Excellency and Riyadh Season. This is a dream come true for myself. On a personal note, yeah, I've got into career best shape. I was given a fantastic opportunity, and it's one I plan to take with both hands.
And also, I've heard you say that your man Johnny Fisher over there, you might be a bit nervous. Tell us a bit more about that.
Yeah, I think so. He should be. I am. We both should be. It's a huge occasion. It's a huge fight. Johnny Fisher, you know, someone asked me last night, like, you're good friends. Like, I've got a son. If he grows up to be half the man Johnny Fisher is, I'd be a happy man. This is not personal. This is sport. But I'm very confident I will do the job. Very, very confident. And, you know, that's not really my character, but I've worked really hard. And I genuinely believe this is my time to finally fulfill my potential.
One more for you, Dave. You've sparred both Tyson Fury and Oleksandr Usyk. I am curious. What do you think is going to happen in the main event?
That's an interesting question while I'm sat on this side of the on this table. The two best heavyweights of my generation, I've shared a ring with both many times. I'm a huge fan of both. You know, everyone knows the regard I hold them both in. I personally foresee a Fury win, but these two are the greatest heavyweights of my time, and I'm so fortunate to be here to witness it in person, and hopefully it can be half as good as last time.
Nice words, and I like that you picked Fury despite being on the Usyk side of the table. Fair play to you, Dave Allen. Let's bring in Johnny Fisher. Dave Allen sounds ready to go. Dave Allen is very, very confident of upsetting you on Saturday night. What's going on in your head, Johnny?
First of all, I'd just like to say a massive thank you to the people of Saudi Arabia and His Excellency for the hospitality that I've received while we're here, my whole team. And yeah, I would expect nothing less from Dave Allen, the White Rhino, to be ready to go. That's what we're trained for. He's had 12 weeks, I've had 12 weeks, but I've been training for more than that. I've been training for 4 long years. And now this is my time to show people what I can do.
So tell me this, Johnny. What happens when you put a rhino and a bull together?
There's a possibility for some carnage, that's for sure. And yeah, a rhinoceros and a bull in the same ring. There's going to be fireworks, and I'm not going to take a backward step. I'm sure he won't. And I'm doing it for my family. I'm doing it to make everyone proud who comes and supports me, the people that are travelling over, but also the people that will be watching at home. I'm doing it for all of you, and you give me strength every time I fight.
And are we expecting a big knockout, a big bosh on Saturday night?
There'll always be a bosh, of course, but winning is all that matters. Victory at all costs, and it's an honour to be on such a big card, but I'm aware of what my job is. My job is to beat Dave Allen, whether that's in Saudi Arabia or somewhere back in England or anywhere around the world. It just happens to be on the biggest stage, on the biggest platform, but my job remains the same: win.
Just a quick one. Have you got a message for Dave Allen down the other end of the table?
Nothing, as he said. He's a good friend, but there's no friends in that boxing ring on Saturday night. We're going to be trading leather, and I'm sure I'll shake his hand before and I'll shake his hand after. But for now, when we're in that ring, we're enemies.
Thank you, Johnny. Let me bring in Eddie Hearn at this point, chairman of Matchroom Sport, sat next to Johnny Fisher a couple of seats down. A couple of things here for you, Eddie. Talk to me a little bit about this fight. And also, I've been watching your interviews. It sounds like you're also the chairman of the Tyson Fury fan club these days. You're backing Tyson to do it.
Yeah, thanks, Dev. Just to echo the words of Frank Warren as well, I think this has been the most incredible year. You know, they say if you love what you do, you'll never have to work another day in your life. And this has been definitely my most enjoyable year in boxing so far. And I don't think myself or Frank or Spencer would have worked the way we have without the passion of His Excellency, because no one is getting myself and Frank Warren up at 5 o'clock in the morning to do a Zoom in our pyjamas like His Excellency. And we do that because we share his passion for the sport. We like money, we all like money, and these fighters deserve as much money as possible, but we feel his energy, we feel his passion for the sport of boxing, and we embrace it. I think it's also important to say the change that we see in Riyadh and the country of Saudi Arabia. We first came here in 2019 for boxing. I think the country is unrecognisable since we came then. And not just through boxing, but the spirit and the energy and the positivity that the younger generation have, and the feeling among the people, is something that I'm quite jealous of, being from Britain. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. I feel full of spirit every time I step foot in this country. And of course, what they're doing for boxing, as Frank said, is become the central hub for boxing. In an era where Las Vegas and London and New York took that title, now the eyes of the sporting world will be on Riyadh on Saturday night. So, of course, on this fight, Dev, Johnny Fisher is someone that's very important to us, and Dave Allen is someone we're very fond of. Two incredible heavyweights who should be nervous, because this is a platform that they've never been on before, the biggest stage of all. And regarding the main event, as I said to my friend Alex Krasuk earlier, I've got a lot of history with Oleksandr Usyk, but I am backing Tyson Fury. Of course, he's the Brit. I've become fond of this gentleman next to me as well, Spencer Brown and the team. And I said before, I said, you're not like, I mean, because he's a good guy. You've got to be kinder to him. He's been your friend for a long time. If you heard the nicknames, and you as well, yeah? So you're going to be nice. You're definitely not on the fence for this fight. Turki Al-Sheikh is backing Tyson Fury to do the business on Saturday night. The one thing I'll say, people ask me all the time, who's going to win this fight? I'll finish now, Dev. I said this, Oleksandr Usyk is an incredible fighter, and it will take something extraordinary to beat him on Saturday night. But I know we've had our differences. Tyson Fury is capable of extraordinary things. I think his victory against Vladimir Klitschko in Germany, I watched that in a hotel on a laptop in America. I thought he had absolutely no chance. He won every single round. When he fought Deontay Wilder in America, I thought he had absolutely no chance. He was robbed in the first fight. He smashed him to pieces in the second fight. Two generational great heavyweights, two credits to the sport. May God bless you both on Saturday night, but most of all, I can't believe I'm saying it, may Tyson Fury be victorious on Saturday night for Britain and get this championship back.
Thank you very much, Eddie. Oleksandr Usyk here stared at you for most of that, so fair play holding your nerve there. Let's move things along. A brilliant heavyweight fight. It's the co-main event on Saturday night. There is a young man here who many believe that when these fellas retire, when Fury and Usyk are gone and this current crop are gone, this man will be the one to carry the torch forward and be the heavyweight moving forward. 19 years old, Moses Itauma. But he's in tough, he's in deep. Dempsey McKean is by far the biggest test of his career. And we'll start with Dempsey McKean here. This is 10 rounds, by the way, for the WBO Intercontinental and vacant WBA International Heavyweight Championships. Dempsey McKean, now, you've just heard it from me. You've probably heard it all week. All the talks about Moses and what Moses can do and what he's going to go on to achieve. But you are a 6'6" Australian tower, and you've got your own plans, right?
Yeah, definitely. First and foremost, I'd like to thank His Excellency and the beautiful Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for hosting us, giving us a platform to be able to come here and fight and showcase it all. But yeah, it's all the Moses show at the moment, isn't it? But you know what? I don't mind. I'm kind of used to being the underdog a bit, especially with the Filip Hrgović fight. And you know, I've had a really good training camp. My sparring's been good. Everything's been on point, and I'm ready to disrupt the Moses show come Saturday.
Okay, thank you very much, Dempsey. Let's bring in Moses Itauma. You've just heard from the man who is looking to disrupt the Moses Itauma show on Saturday night. What are you thinking?
It didn't sound believable, I can't lie. But I want to start off by saying thank you very much, Turkey Al-Sheikh, for giving me this opportunity to fight on shows like this. Like, listen, I'm just a teenager from Chatham. Like, it's mad that I'm underneath bright lights. I'm on the same table as Tyson Fury, Frank Warren, Eddie Hearn, Spencer, Oleksandr Usyk. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for this opportunity. I'm going to take it with both hands. And I'm living this up as much as I can. It's funny though, like, I'm 19-year-old, only turned professional last year. Dempsey McKean has double amounts of fights, and yet he's the underdog. Listen, I'm not looking past Dempsey. For me, this is like my world title fight.
Thank you very much, Moses Itauma. Brilliant fight on Saturday night, Itauma against Dempsey McKean. Let's start talking again about the main event. Let's get a trainer's eye from Serge Lapin, part of the Usyk coaching team. And Serge, you've got 12 rounds of data now as a team. What's going to happen on Saturday? Have you had to change much? Give us your thoughts.
Добрый вечер всем. Добрый вечер. Салам алейкум.
Good evening, everyone.
В субботу вечером будет противостояние двух боксеров. И один докажет еще раз другому, что такое настоящий бокс, что такое техника. И
Ladies and gentlemen, so this upcoming Saturday night, we're going to have the battle of two great champions, where one of current champion will prove to the other one that he is the stronger man, and he will perform what real techniques is, what real tactics is.
Усик чемпион, и суббота вечер это все покажет.
Usyk is the champion, and you'll see that on Saturday night.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Serge Lapin. Let's bring in legendary boxing promoter Bob Arum. And Bob, you are very much in the Tyson Fury camp. Give us your thoughts on Saturday night and where it sits historically as well.
First, I want to say to everybody out there that this is the way you speak English, not like my British friends. Right? There's no accent at all. It's all plain syllables. And it's so much of a delight for me to be here in Riyadh, to be with my friend, His Excellency, who we've become really friends, and we enjoy each other, and that's very important. And looking to the fight, I'm not going to talk about great fights and great fighters, because it will be a great fight, and these are great fighters. But I'm not only been Tyson Fury co-promoter, but also I'm a Tyson Fury fan. And if anybody had watched the second Wilder fight, first one, remember, was a draw, and Wilder hit him with a punch that no human being could get up from, and Tyson did. And Tyson, in the second fight, knew what he had to do, and he won that fight in real one-sided way. And I'm looking forward to him fighting in that way and being successful on Saturday night. That being said, he's fighting a tough, skilled Ukrainian. And personally, like many Americans, I'm so proud of his people, the Ukrainian people, how hard they've been fighting and what they've been accomplishing fighting a much bigger country. And never, never, never count out a Ukrainian. And Oleksandr Usyk typifies the strength of Ukraine, but he's in on Saturday night with one of the best heavyweights of all time, Tyson Fury, and I'm very confident that our man Tyson will emerge victorious. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bob Arum. Let's head back to the Usyk side of the table. Let's bring in Egis Klimas. Egis, you have been pretty active actually on social media, hammering home the point that your man's going to get the job done. Tell us why he's going to get the job done.
Good evening, Riyadh. Beautiful, beautiful city, beautiful country. A little bit cold nowadays, but, well, never expected. Thank you, His Excellency. Thank you, people, for organizing this. Listen, Oleksandr Usyk has been the champion on the road. He's a warrior on the road. As you just heard a couple of minutes ago, we all for Tyson, we all together. In May here, last few months ago in May, Oleksandr Usyk proved to the whole world when he became undisputed champion of the world, winning against Tyson Fury. At that point, we as a team already fought. We don't have nothing else to prove. We did everything. Every single fight Oleksandr fought, he never fought at home. He fought in UK, he fought in the United States. When we became here to fight in Riyadh, it's always on the road. Now, after he's been already undisputed, we're coming here and we have to prove again, which is no problem. We will see Saturday night, once again, who is Oleksandr Usyk. Thank you, and we will see you on Saturday night.
Thank you very much, Egis Klimas. Well, let's bring in Spencer Brown. And Egis Klimas has made his case for Oleksandr Usyk. What is the case for Tyson Fury?
Well, Tyson's done an amazing camp. He's lived like a monk. As you can see, he's very, very, very focused. He thinks that he's had something taken off him that he shouldn't have, and he wants it back. And on Saturday night, he will get it back. And I just listened to what Bob said about never put down about the Ukrainians. They're great fighting people. They are. But don't underestimate a gypsy man, a travelling man from Lancaster, who has fighting in his blood right the way through his family. His grandmother's grandmother could fight. His great-great-grandfather could fight. Everybody can fight. They have a great bloodline of fighting men. They are also warriors. So do not underestimate this man to my right. He's very focused, and we believe on Saturday night he's going to bring that belt back to England where it belongs.
Thank you very much, Spencer Brown. Let's bring in Alex Krasik. Alex, last time we had a press conference, you had a lovely short poem for us. I'm curious as to what you have for us, and I emphasise short, here tonight.
Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen. Besides that, it's an honor to be back to the new Mecca of boxing, to Saudi Arabia, to the beautiful city of Riyadh. It's also a pleasure to be hosted by such wonderful people who we know. Who could ever imagine that a small, common, young kid from Simferopol, from Crimea, one day becomes the two-time undisputed? His dream came true. Our dream came true. His fans' dreams came true. there is a man in the kingdom who has a habit of making dreams come true. Your Excellency, thank you very much. And one more gratitude goes to Gypsy King. We know that he's not very good at making the rematches, but we must admit that courage and bravery lives in his heart. Tyson, thank you for being here. Just one day separates us from the battle and from its outcome. As they say in the wise book, the race is not for the swift, nor the battle to the strong, nor bread to the wise, nor riches to the intelligent, nor favor to those with knowledge, but time and chance happen to them all. Ladies and gentlemen, let the Lord bless the fighters. May strength and valor accompany them in the battle. Good luck to the both of them, and let the best man win again. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alex Krasik. Let's get a final word from both main event fighters. Tyson, in 2015, before you fought Vladimir Klitschko, you told him his time was over and your time is now. Before you boxed Deontay Wilder in the rematch, you told him you'd fight fire with fire and go through him. What would you like to tell Oleksandr Usyk before your rematch on Saturday night?
Can't wait for Saturday night. Thank you, everybody involved. God bless.
Thank you, Tyson. And final word to the defending champion. You've been telling Tyson Fury you will not leave him alone. What is your message to Tyson as we head into Saturday?
Don't be afraid. I will not leave you alone. See you on Saturday.
There we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. We're going to pose for face-offs just for the main event now, very shortly. Thank you.
Well, there we have it. The press conference is complete. Not much said by either of the main event fighters.
No, well, again, all week Tyson Fury's been very subdued, you know, verbally anyway. And
I watched you though. You like it?
I do like it. No, and because he's sort of saying like, listen, I was talking all the time in the first fight, and this fight it's all business now, and because he needs to be all business. You know, this is the only guy that's beaten, the only guy that had his number. You know, so and all that psychological games didn't work. So he has to get it right now, and I think he is in the right state of mind. I like it. And Oleksandr Usyk is such an uber professional. He will never not be ready for a fight. I think he'll time it right. He weighs the same. We all know what he's going to weigh. 222, 221, isn't it? That's the weight he'll weigh. He's diligent with his work. I think he's mentally always in a good place. You know, and so yeah, I think we're getting two guys, probably the best they could possibly be right now.
Any danger of this face-off getting heated, do you think?
I don't think so. You never know. You just never know, do you? I think, if anything, it'll be Fury pushing Usyk. You know, maybe trying to show some physical strength, and maybe that might be. You know, we all try to overlook into things, but an appetizer. What's going to happen on Saturday? Where he's going to be more physically active and try and bully him a little bit more. But I don't think so. There'll be a little bit of a stare, a few words maybe at best, but. You know, I think Fury realises now I'm just wasting my energy trying to do that.
We have to note His Excellency has stood up on a step so that he can see over these two giants.
I empathise with him.
What will it be, revenge or repeat?
I love it. It's so intense, isn't it? When you see them together, it's only two guys staring at each other, but it's it gives you that tingle, doesn't it? Because you know in 2 days they're going to go to battle. It's a daunting thought if you think about it. And that's that's why the people say this game's so mental, because if you think about it, if you overthink about what you're about to do, you'll lose your mind, you'll lose your battle, you won't go through with it. So, you know, it takes a lot of resolve.
Very intense. Seeing this today, does it change your mind at all?
No, I never change my mind, even if we're right or wrong. In this fight, I think it's such a close call, I think, that, no, listen, the smart money and I think the sensible choice would be Oleksandr Usyk. I think because the way he performed, even though Fury had loads of success, it was all at the pace of Oleksandr Usyk. But I'm still going to stick with Tyson Fury. I really am. I think he will adapt a little bit better. Doesn't do much more, but a little bit more. Usyk will adapt as well. I think Fury will up it a little bit more as well. I think arguably this might be a better fight.
A very long stare, that's for sure.
Look at the size difference, though. Unbelievable, isn't it?
It is, because when you stand next to Oleksandr Usyk, he's massive.
It's a big lump.
And
I mean, he seems to have gone, since he turns heavyweight, he seems to have gone taller.
I was shocked how tall he was.
Yeah, he seems to have gone bigger, and he's filled out with I think really almost an ideal size for a heavyweight. Just Fury is a super-sized heavyweight, isn't he? That's the difference. And I like Fury as well. He hasn't put on, it doesn't look like to me he's put on too much bulk. He might put on a little bit more weight, and and that's not a bad thing. But I think ultimately he needs to be mobile. He needs to be fit. He needs to have loads of energy in the tank because he knows he's going to have to fight at the pace that he's not naturally comfortable with. And if he can train for that and get ready for that, then this is going to be an absolute tear-up. This is a long face-off. Neither of them want to break the eye contact. Well, somebody's got to get in the middle before it does tip over the edge. I think that's the worry. But then, for TV, it's fantastic, isn't it? Keep going and we'll see what happens. But no one's going to give here. Somebody's got to get in the middle. Someone's going to have to get in the middle. Yeah, they're going to have to, yeah. And on the press conference tables, majority of people were all for Tyson Fury. They were, even fair play to Dave Allen, on the same side as Usyk, actually said Fury. Yeah, well, I think, I don't think that'll be the consensus of most boxing fans. I think most of them will fancy Oleksandr Usyk, and rightfully so. But, I think, I know boxing people will see that Fury will be able to adapt. You can't go always on like Bob Arum, what a great boxing guy he is, but you can't go on the Wilder 2 fight where he come in as a different fighter, because he's not up against Deontay Wilder. Oleksandr Usyk is a much clever animal than Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder's just more danger with the power, so he's not going to be able to do that. But he can be more assertive, he can be more aggressive. I think he can be, try and take the pace. You got to take the pace. I think anyone who dictates the pace in this fight wins the fight. The problem is, for Fury, is Oleksandr Usyk always fights at his pace. He's never not been the way. Even when he's moving around, he's still getting back to the centre of the ring, and he's still almost initiating most of the exchanges, or forcing you to throw, forcing you to work, whatever it is. So that's going to be the puzzle for Fury. But listen, he's a maverick at times, and people who can think on their feet are the most difficult to beat. Now, as a former fighter, what is going through your mind at this point? What is? I would have been gone 10 minutes ago. I wouldn't have this. I mean, nothing really. They're probably thinking, let's just get out here. But you become stubborn. That's what you become. I'm not going to back down from you. I mean, that's what they'll feel now. I mean, at the beginning, they probably could have walked away, but it's got to a stage now, you can't. You're in it. They're in it now. They'll be there all day. I'd leave them all day. We could have a sponsor stare off here for charity and make a fortune for a nice charity. Yeah, because you hear the stories of how stubborn Tyson Fury is. The sauna story where he wouldn't leave the sauna, and he ended up being in there for a ridiculous length of time just out of stubbornness. Yeah, well, you have to listen. You have to be. There's two things you have to be. One thing you have to be as a fighter is selfish. It's all about you. You have to be selfish, and also you have to be brave, or you have to show brave, which is bravado. So something like this would be bravado. I mean, they're both brave. We've seen what they're like in fights, both of them. So we know you can't question their courage, their resolve, and their resistance at times as well. Especially Tyson Fury. But Oleksandr Usyk, he's fighting giants every day of the week now, and he's dominating all of them. That's the difference. So they're special athletes, do special things, and these guys are special talents. They really are. So, and most important for boxing is that you've got two great fighters boxing each other. That's all we need. It certainly is. And do you reckon anyone's actually going to get in the middle of these two? Someone got it. This is taking too long. I mean, we could come back tomorrow. They might still be here. They'll definitely still be there. I mean, it doesn't look like anyone's going to get in the middle of them. I think they're just letting them get on with it. Well, while we're waiting to see if anyone does split this up, let's take a look at what's going on outside. Obviously, we are Riyadh season, and it wouldn't be Riyadh season without something a bit special.
far, this face-off has been going for 7 minutes, and it's still going on despite the best efforts to split it up.
To be fair to Mauricio Sullivan, the WBC boss, he's made a good effort there. I tell you what, though, size on Tyson Fury. I mean, how deep he is as well from chest to back. I mean, it looks massive.
Yeah, I think they're going to need some more people to help break this up, because
the problem you get, also the problem you get there, more hands that come in, then it starts to get a little bit pushy, and then it's a potential there, not just for them, it's the kick off around them. So this has to be a very delicate thing. They should have done it earlier, really, but like, what's this now? We were 7 minutes, like a minute ago, weren't we? So I would make it 8 minutes. I'm good at math.
he's trying to talk them down. But they are having... I don't even think Tyson Fury is actually looking at Usyk anymore.
No, he's right at him. He's looking right at him. Usyk hasn't blinked.
No,
not at all.
He really hasn't. I mean, we saw all the dancing going on just outside here. Everyone's having a great time. Yeah. There it is. We saw Moses and Talma dancing as well with everyone. So there's a party going on outside and a very intense stare-off going on inside.
Maybe get these guys in the break it up, maybe. A little bit of entertainment might
Usyk loves dancing. It could.
There you go, there's a smile there, a little nod there. Now we're going to start break. There you go, the words come in.
Yeah, talking to each other now.
Now you get, that's it, now you get it, because once the talking starts, that's when it starts getting a little bit tasty. Again, what we say, this is the last real chance there. The way you might say is that this is the last real chance to try and get that little bit of an edge.
It's extraordinary scenes. Getting very animated now. We look onto the stage.
We need a mic there. We don't need a mic here, we need a mic there.
I'll run up there now. Surely someone's got a mic in there so we know what they're saying. I'm predicting Riot playing, let's hope not.
There you go, there's Brendan, there's the Tyson security guy. See, we should have pushing, and when you get the arms and it all kicks off. He's up for the Fury, look at him. I mean, you can't, the one thing though, you can't intimidate Oleksandr Usyk.
I've just been told we've reached the 10-minute mark for this.
Might be a record.
What is the record?
I do not know. Sorry about that. I do not know.
Someone tell us what the record is. We're getting the info. We've got plenty of time. This is still going on.
I mean, listen, we've had press conferences where the worst things have happened on this. Let's not forget that. Recently, but it means so much. You know, the emotions start to overflow a little bit here. And Fury wants to make his point that he's going to be better. But he's telling people, and listen, he did this against Wilder too. I know you can't compare them, but he's saying, I'm going to finish you this time. It's not going to be I'm going to be better than beat you. I'm going to finish you. He's saying to us, I just got to do a little bit more. Only lost by the knockdown, which I don't know, but that's what he thinks. But I think he said to Usyk, I'm doing more than that. But listen, he doesn't care, does he? Cool as a cucumber, that guy.
Never seems remotely bothered by anything Usyk, does he?
No, there's a man full of confidence. You bet on yourself, don't you? Especially, and these world-class athletes, world-class boxers are a different breed. They really are. So he won't be faced with what Tyson Fury says. He'll only be worried about it when the bell goes ding on Saturday night.
The dancing's still going on. Okay. They've finally been split up and they've left the stage. So that could have been a new record. We're still trying to get the info. Usyk's now at the top of the stage, celebrating. fantastic scenes there and from the press conference. But if all that hasn't been enough to convince you to tune in on Saturday night, here are 5 more reasons.
Live on DAZN, December 21st. Watch Usyk vs Fury 2 on the global home of boxing with unbeatable broadcast talent and special guests. Plus exclusive watch-alongs. Usyk vs Fury 2, December 21st. Buy now at DAZN.com/boxing.
Then he has a lot more natural talent. Dave Allen showed loads of promise. Then he came.
Okay, this is what's still to come. So obviously you can see Fight Night Saturday, December the 21st. We've got the weigh-in tomorrow, and don't go anywhere. Make sure you stay with us as we've got a special show coming up live very shortly with a host of boxing legends, hosted by His Excellency in association with the Ring magazine. Thank you for joining us, and make sure you stay tuned for the rest of the week.
You're awake, Mr. Fury.
When you sleep at night, ugly man, you're a thief.
Think of me. I'm gonna punch your face in.
Shut up! Shut up! Ah!
Show me your face. Show me your face.
Hey, Tyson. We need to end this.
Aye, I'm gonna end you.
I'm very feel.